excited also. We get excited when we are about to learn about this. So today we are going to learn, we are going to discuss about this world. The world which is full of microorganisms, which is full of organisms which are not visible to our naked eye. Right? Shall we start? Yes. Study of organisms which are not visible through our naked eyes is called as microbiology. Okay, and the organisms which are visible only through microscope are called as microbes or microorganisms, and the studies of these microbes or microorganisms is called as microbiology. You know, the scientist named Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, he is supposed to be called as father of microbiology because he was the first scientist who discovered the living organisms under his microscope. That's why he is called as father of microbiology. Right? Then we'll move on to the name, the what he has given to the organisms when he observed them. Okay, he called them as animalcules because he didn't know what were those organisms which he observed under his microscope. So he just called them as animalcules, and this was done in the year 1678. Now coming to this, different types of microorganisms we are going to learn in this session are actually they are classified based upon the shape and structure. Okay, based on the shape and structure of these microorganisms we have 6 types. Like the first one is bacteria, virus, protozoa, algae, fungi and microarthropods. Now we are going to study about all these 6 different types of microorganisms, and this classification is based mainly on their shape and their structure. Right? Now the first we are going to discuss about the bacteria. Okay, this along with bacteria, virus is also considered, both are considered as prokaryotic because they don't have a definite nucleus, which we have already learned in the previous class. Cells are of 2 different types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. The cells which do not have a definite nucleus are considered as prokaryotic. So under prokaryotic we have bacteria and virus. Right? Today we are going to discuss about bacteria in this class. Bacteria is a prokaryotic type of cell, and these are unicellular also. Right? Now coming to where do we find this bacteria? These are omnipresent. Omnipresent in the sense they are present everywhere. They are omnipresent. You find these organisms like bacteria everywhere. They are present on the soil, they are present in air, they are present what not. Even they are present on human body, inside and outside the body also. These bacteria along with other microorganisms together, when they are found in any host, then they are termed as microflora, or nowadays they are called as microfauna, because actually these are organisms, they are not flora, isn't it? Flora is a term which is related to plants. So nowadays they are termed as microfauna. Right? The bacteria along with other microorganisms, when they are present on any host, then they are termed as microflora or microfauna. Now we are going to discuss, we go deeply into the bacteria. Right? How we'll discuss about the bacteria. Right? They are single celled. All the bacteria, different types of bacteria are all single celled in the sense they have only single cell, one single cell. So they are also termed as unicellular. This term also you might have already, we have learned already, we have discussed about unicellular organisms. Right. So bacteria is unicellular, single celled, and it is prokaryotic also. Right. Then and they lack different organelles like chloroplast, mitochondria, nucleus, and they have flagella, right? And why these bacteria do not have mitochondria and all? Because they don't have much work to do. They just have to multiplicate themselves, they have to reproduce themselves, and their cells need not have a definite function. So they lack mitochondria and chloroplasts, except in one bacteria, that is cyanobacteria, which has chloroplasts and which helps in photosynthesis, right? And we learn more about this bacteria under another topic, like usages of bacteria, usefulness, and harmful bacteria. We have different types of bacteria also, useful bacteria as well as harmful bacteria. We learn later about that. So now, as at present, we just discuss about different bacteria, or how a bacterial cell looks like. We know that some when we get diseases, when human beings are prone to some diseases, mostly these are due to infections due to microorganisms, and that is mostly due to bacterial infections. When we are prone to when we are attacked by a bacteria, we need to take medication, isn't it? And you know that doctors prescribe antibiotics. Antibiotics work only on bacteria, not on viral diseases. This topic again we are going to discuss later. And the main reason why antibiotics work only on bacteria is because of a cell wall. I mean, the bacteria has got a cell wall. It's an extra protective layer. Bacterial cell has an extra protective layer called as cell wall, which is made up of peptidoglycan, Now you see, when the presence of cell wall, you may get confused that bacteria is a plant, because we know that plant cells only have cell wall, that we have already discussed, isn't it? But here we see another protective layer around a bacteria, which is also termed as cell wall, but it cannot be considered as a plant cell, because in plant cells cell wall is made up of cellulose, but here in the case of bacteria, this cell wall is made up of a different protein and amino acids, which is called as peptidoglycan, right? Now we find different million numbers of bacteria in a gram of a soil. Now you can imagine the presence of bacteria everywhere around us, isn't it? So you find more than 40 million bacteria in a single gram of soil. And the characteristic of bacteria, special, very interesting characteristic of bacteria is that they can survive in extreme temperatures. Like they can survive very high temperatures as well as very low temperatures also. That is why they are seen even in deep earth's crust. Deep earth's crust, under the seabed, everywhere they are observed. They are found everywhere. That's why we call them as omnipresent, right? Because of their survival at extreme temperatures, it's very difficult to clean. It's very difficult to eradicate the bacterial presence. So we have to take special precautions in case of bacteria and all, right? There are as many bacterial cells in a human body as there are human cells. This is another important aspect what we have to discuss here, because we know that human bodies or any organism, any living organism has got cells, right? Now this bacterial, how many bacteria we find in a human body, which is almost equal to the number of cells of a human body. Now you can imagine that what is the size of a bacteria, and what is the location, how they are present, how many bacteria are present in our body. So this indicates this, right? Okay. Now, based on the bacteria, that till now we have discussed about general specifications of bacteria, its size, its how, where it is found, how it is found, and the survival nature of bacteria and all. Now let us proceed further. We'll discuss about different types of bacteria, right? Now shape, based on shape of the bacteria, we have different types. The first is spherical. If a bacteria is spherical in shape, just like this, the diagram is provided here. Just look at this. If this structure of a bacteria is spherical, then it is named as coccus. If you find any bacteria which is named as a suffix or prefix coccus, then you have to understand by default that the shape of the bacteria is spherical. If the structure or the shape of the bacteria is rod shaped, then it is called as bacillus. Okay? Single is bacillus and plural is bacilli. Rod shaped bacteria are called as bacillus. If the shape is spiral or twisted, then it is called as spirulinum. The bacterial shape is spiral or twisted, then it is considered as spirulum, just like this. It's got twisted, just like spring shaped. Spring shaped bacteria are called as spirulinum. And one more type of bacteria is also observed, that is this comma shaped. If you find this type of bacteria, then it is named as vibrios. Okay, if the bacteria is comma shaped, then it is termed as vibrios. Now again, spherical shaped bacteria are called as coccus, rod shaped bacteria are called as bacillus, spiral or twisted or spring shaped bacteria are called as spirulinum, and comma shaped bacteria are called as vibrios. These are 4 different types of bacteria which are classified according to the shape of the bacteria. And one more thing, this bacteria can exist as a single celled, or they can also exist as a colony, right? If a bacteria is found, spherical bacteria, coccus is found singular, then it is called as coccus. Okay. Plural is cocci. If you find a bacteria in a colony, then you call it as cocci, colonial bacteria. In the same way, bacillus also. If the rod shaped bacilli are, they are attached, they are found in a colony, and the rod shaped are all together like this. Can you see this? It forms a chain type, isn't it? Then this type of bacteria is called as streptobacilli. Streptobacilli, right? And this is called as streptococcus. If the single cocci are all linked together, all attached to each other and form a chain like structure which forms a colony, then it is called as streptococci, and this is streptobacilli. If they are found singular, then you can call them as bacilli or bacillus, right? Now in the same way, now let us see some examples where examples of different bacteria which we are going to discuss in the later classes, like E. coli. E. coli is a bacteria which is found in the intestines of human body, human intestines. I told you that bacteria are found everywhere, isn't it? Everywhere. So there are some bacteria which are also found in the stomach and intestines also. Those bacteria are called as E. coli. Some bacteria, other examples of bacteria are lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is found in curd. Okay, now we are going to do the activity. I am going to tell you the activity, how to observe the bacteria. Like other examples of bacteria are Clostridium, Salmonella, Staphylococcus. Staphylococcus is a bacteria which is again found on human beings, on the skin. Mostly we find this on our skin. Okay, these are the different examples, a few examples of bacteria. Now we are going to discuss about how to observe bacteria under microscope. How to observe bacteria under microscope, right? Now first thing is we need some materials like we are going to find out, we are going to observe lactobacillus. The bacteria name is lactobacillus, which we are going to observe under microscope. When I say lactobacillus, I think by this time you should know what is the shape of bacteria. Okay, what the shape of bacteria must be. You should recollect the shape of the bacteria, which you have to draw it on your own after the activity. Okay, now let us start the activity. For this, we need a few drops of buttermilk, and we need a slide, a cover slip, a needle, and stain like either ink or phenolphthalein or any other stain. Safranin also can be used to observe the lactobacillus. Okay. Now let us start the procedure. When you start the procedure to observe lactobacillus under microscope, you just take few drops, 2 or 3 drops of buttermilk, just put them on a slide. Okay. And then you take the slide and just heat it over the candle flame just for a few seconds, for 30 seconds. After heating, just put it aside for a few more seconds and then add 1 drop of color like stain, safranin, ink or any other color, right? Then again you put some water. After straining it, leave it for few seconds. Let it get absorbed, let the cells get absorbed the stain, and then take a few drops of water, just wash it slightly so that extra stain is removed from the sample or the slide, so that the sample can be observed clearly. If you have more stain on this, you will see only the color or the stain on the slide. So you have to wash it off, the extra stain, using a few drops of water. Then use a drop of glycerin, just place it on the sample, on the slide where the sample is provided, and then take a cover slip along with a needle. Now you take a needle and just place the cover slip in a slanting way like this. Just use a needle like this and just drop the slide, drop the cover slip onto the slide slantingly to avoid to avoid air bubbles. You should see that no air bubble is seen in the slide, because we have to avoid these air bubbles, otherwise we can't see the slide properly. Bacteria will not be visible clearly if air bubbles are present. So we need to take proper precautions in avoiding air bubbles. So then after covering it with cover slip, and we have to put it under microscope and just observe this. Now you have to draw the structure of lactobacillus, the bacteria which is observed under the microscope by you. Clear? Now just name of the bacteria what we observe here in the buttermilk is lactobacillus. So the shape and the structure of bacteria must be already in your mind, right? Now you have to draw it as a homework for this activity. Clear? Now one more point, we are using glycerin here for while preparing the slide. Why do we use glycerin? If we don't use glycerin, the sample gets dried up very fast. So, and the dried sample cannot be preserved for longer time, and it is not at all visible properly after a later time. So in order to preserve the sample for a longer period, we need to take a drop of glycerin and place it over the slide. Place it over the sample and cover it with a cover slip. This is what we have discussed about the bacteria. Let us just recap once again about the topic what we have learned today. Okay, we have discussed about the microorganisms, the world of microorganisms which is not visible to our naked eye. So that we just don't understand, isn't it? Actually, previously when the prior to the discovery of the cell, prior to the discovery of these microorganisms, people used to wonder how the diseases were attacked by, how diseases attack people. Unknown diseases where people were attacked by unknown diseases, because these organisms are not visible to us. So we just don't understand what is the reason behind the diseases. Now, after the invention of microscope and after the discovery of the cell as well as the microorganisms, the study of microbiology has started. This leads the study of microbiology, which has taken a shape of a branch of a science. It's so vast that it the study of these microorganisms has given a different branch in the science, which is termed as microbiology. Just under the microbiology, we have again different types of microorganisms according to the shape, structures, and locations. We have just studied about bacteria, and then study of bacteria can be termed as bacteriology also. Right? Now let us just recap once again. Okay, just the bacteria. Microbiology. Father of microbiology is Antony van Leeuwenhoek. You have to remember these words, these terms. Please note down, right? And he was the first scientist to observe moving organisms, and he called them as animalcules. Okay, in the year 1678. Based on the shape and structure of these microorganisms, they are further classified into different types like bacteria, virus, protozoa, algae, fungi, microarthropods. Then these bacteria and virus among these 6 types are considered as prokaryotic, whereas others like algae, fungi, protozoans and microarthropods are considered as eukaryotic. Now you know the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic.